this episode with introducing yourself and your background.
Okay, my name is William Person, which actually it makes it kind of hard to Google me because my I went by Will, like everybody will do this or will do that,
Mhm.
and then my last name is spelled like everybody's a person, so my name is intermixed all up in there. So I try to use William now, so it makes it a little bit easier to find me. But yeah, I'm a 9 year veteran of Team USA. I'm wearing my Team USA shirt today. I was a bobsledder. Actually, I started out with track and field, long jumping. And then I eventually switched over to Winter Olympics around 98, 99 or so. And then I raced until 2007.
Oh, what made you switch to bobsledding?
Well, the truth is, this guy tricked me. There was a tryout, and during this tryout, I set a new record. And this guy, he offered me a lot of money live on TV because NBC was covering this tryout. And I thought he really had the money, but he didn't have the money. And so by the time I kind of figured that out, I switched teams and I kind of moved up in the ranks pretty quick. So it was just something like it was a spread of moment thing. I really didn't want to do it. It looked kind of dangerous, uh, and I hated roller coasters back then. I was afraid of them. And this thing is like a roller coaster times 50. It's so intense. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay, so kind of on that topic of bobsledding, since you advocate for CTEs, can you explain what CTE is and why athletes, especially in high impact sports, are at risk?
Well, the best way I would say for to explain it, if you go online and Google CTE victims or something like that, you're gonna see a lot of people who they committed suicide or they killed someone in their family or they're out robbing people. They're doing things that's just not in their norm. It's out of their character to do. And so that's kind of what CTE does. It starts to take over that brain. And for me, I was cloudy most days. And most days when I woke up, I didn't know where I was at. Some days, uh, most time I didn't know what like I would struggle to figure out like if it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So every day when I woke up, I had to figure out what day it is, look at the calendar, and then I had to figure out what month I'm in because I always thought I was in January or August for some reason. It's always the same 2 months. So you just kind of get lost, and once you get lost like that, it's hard to really cope with life because you can't like. Let me give you a good example. Let's say you guys decide to go have lunch, right? And so you go to this place, you pick out your favorite dish, and then it costs you $7.82. So you have a $20 bill. You go in your pocket, you pull out that 20, you hand it to them, and then you got to try to figure out how much change you get back. So what it does, it starts to mess with your ability to do reading, writing, and math. So I would literally would be sitting in the stores just imploding. Like I'm so stressed out because I can't figure out how much money I'm supposed to get back because I can't count anymore. And so I just learned to stop taking cash and just swipe credit cards, and which got me into trouble with debt because now I'm doing something that's out of my norm. You know?
Mhm.
So it's kind of like every time you try to fix one thing, you almost cause another problem somewhere else in your life. And that's what this thing does to you. It's always just it's just disturbing you. It's really disturbing you. Yeah.
Oh, so like it messes with your thinking skills. And so does chronic traumatic encephalopathy also maybe interfere with like emotions?
Oh yes. It has to. Like I said, it when I first figured out what this was and I started doing the research, all I saw was angry people. They
Mhm.
were like I said, they were murdering people. They are still murdering people. Or they murdering or taking their own life. So it's like you almost kind of lose your grip on reality sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah. It'll really it's just kind of disturbing. It's really hard to have a natural life or and then like when you see people who really have it bad, like they have a fuse. Like they'll lose their temper. They go from 0 to 100 like really quick, and and you see what happens from there. Like usually they wind up hurting somebody, and they wind up in jail or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so could you maybe like explain like what led you to experiencing CTE like symptoms and or like head injuries?
Well, originally, I didn't think I had CTE. I thought that I was becoming diabetic. Uh, I had so many days where I like every morning when I woke up, I had to I would like before I went to bed at night, I would put like a thermos of coffee next to my bed or Coca-Cola or Mountain Dew. Now, as a Olympic athlete, world class athlete, like I never drank that stuff. That's just it's still gross to me. Like it's just nasty. I can't. But I couldn't get out of the bed without it. So if I didn't have that next to me on the bed, I wasn't going to get out of the bed the next day till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Then it's just time to eat dinner and go back to bed. So that's kind of where my life kind of went to for quite a while as I
Hmm.
was trying to figure it out. And by the time when I figured out what it really was, oh my God, like it was crippling to understand. Like I thought I was going to be a diabetic. I might have to take a pill or take a shot, give me some insulin, and I'm going to be great.
Uh-huh.
No, absolutely not. It's yeah. And I tell this one story. Like one of my teammates, he wanted to be a writer. I used to do a lot of writing, so he would call me about the script ideas he had, and we would go over them and stuff, and just catch up. And this one day he called me. He was speaking gibberish. He couldn't speak anymore. He was I don't know if he was speaking in a foreign tongue or he was just going yeah, couldn't understand anything. So he got so frustrated with me that he hung up the phone. And so I told myself every single day I have to help him because at that time I worked in mental health. I used to run like some of the celebrity rehab places in LA. I wrote the first ever independent living transitional housing program for teenagers coming out of secure care or on their way to secure care. So my background was mental health, and so I knew I can help this guy. I got to get him some help. And the truth is, I didn't do anything to help him. And eventually, somebody called me, and I think I saw it on the news. He went to his family's factory and he hung himself. And I felt so guilty for a long time because I thought that I was responsible. So I didn't help. And so I took that personal.
Hmm.
And so and then when they did his autopsy, he was in stage 4 of CTE. And I just felt, like I said, I felt so guilty. But I knew at that point there was nothing I could have done that was going to help him. And the biggest thing I learned is like it took for him to die for me to understand what was wrong with me and what was wrong with the rest of my teammates because we're all dealing with the same type of stuff. And I think I represent like 643 athletes in court right now. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it started at 900. So I think there's a lot more than the 600.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely a really tragic story, and CTE is definitely very devastating because it like also lasts throughout your lifespan. So, could you
yeah,
maybe explain like how bobsledding like creates the risk of these head injuries?
absolutely. I used to believe that it was just the crashes. Like when we went down this track and sometimes we have these violent crashes. But there's people who never crash who have the same symptoms. And then one of the backstories is when I was competing, there's only one group of people that pulls the same G forces as bobsledders, and that's the F-15 fighter pilots. Because like
Mhm.
1 minute they're flying this way, then they do those turns and they're going the other direction. That's what the bobsled does. We're going straight, and next thing you know, we're doing that. And so imagine driving down the street. Do you guys drive cars?
I do.
You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of car do you drive?
A Toyota.
A Toyota. Okay. So imagine you're going down the street in your Toyota, and you're doing 95 miles an hour, like bobsleds do between 85 to 95 at the top speeds on different tracks. So imagine you doing 90 and you come up to a four-way stoplight. You got a green light and you need to make a right-hand turn. So you're going 90. And so without touching your brakes, not slowing down, just turn the car. And that's what it's like to be in a bobsled. So what it does, it takes all the blood from your head and it pushes it out of your body. And so some people faint right there. They faint, black out, and they wake up about a couple minutes after the race is over. The G forces really do something to you. So there was a time when we took some of the fighter pilots down the track, and when we got out the sled, they were a little bit beat up. They were just like rattled, and I didn't understand back then. It didn't make sense to me. Like they're the best military in the world, supposedly. Arguably the best military. But I just didn't understand how they could be shook up from going down the bobsled track once. I probably went down that track 6 times that day, and they went once, and they were the ones who were hurting the most. So the truth is, I found out about a year ago that we were actually pulling 84.5 Gs.
Oh.
84. Yeah, fighter pilots pull about 10 to 12, sometimes 15. I heard they can do up to 20, but they wear some type of pressure suit that keeps them from blacking out. Whereas us, like I usually don't have this thing out, but this is like one of our Olympic suits. This is spandex. Let me
Mhm.
unzip it. You can literally see through it.
Yeah. So does
Yeah.
it protect you or not?
No,
Oh,
absolutely not. What it doesn't do anything except it allows me to put less weight in the sled. So this thing is just it's spandex. You can see through it. So imagine racing in weather where it's negative 40, and then you driving 90 miles an hour into that. It's equivalent to some type of like liquid nitrogen, is what I was told. So sometimes when I get out the bobsled, my hands are stuck like this until I get back inside somewhere warm for about 5 to 10 minutes, and they'll slowly warm back up. Then I can kind of open them again. But yeah, it can be a little bit
wow.
brutal out there.
I did
Yeah.
not know it was that intense.
Oh yeah, that's just the beginning. But the
Mhm.
one part, um, like you see how thin that is. So
Yeah.
imagine when we crash. So we roll over on that side, right? There's only two parts of your body that can touch the ice. It's either your shoulder or your helmet. If you leave your helmet on the ice while you're sliding down or you crash, that noise is equivalent to, fingernails in a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Okay, now multiply that by about 30. It's really intense. And so
Oh.
that noise is just like, you just want it over with just to get rid of that noise. So
Mhm.
what you do, sometimes you have to take your head off the ice, but now my shoulder's on the ice. So whatever part of your body touches that ice going that fast, it burns off. So
Oh,
your flesh will burn off, and now you're just down to bone. You can burn it all the way to the bone, and no more flesh, no muscles. Everything is gone. I've seen it quite a few times, and so that's another part of the dangerous part of the sport. But I believe the worst of it is really the concussions and the G forces.
mhm.
Oh yeah. That was a part that I left out. Is those fighter pilots? There was an article that came out about them in December of last year. They have the exact same symptoms as the bobsledders right now.
Oh,
So yeah, so I have a feeling it's the G forces that's really doing the most damage.
Yeah, so you mentioned like concussion briefly just now. Do you
Mhm.
know what the difference is between CTE and concussions?
Well, that's an argument I'm having in court right now.
oh, okay.
Yeah, because like I believe what this is what my opinion of it is. Like as an athlete, I've had a lot of injuries in my career. So every time you have an injury, what's a hamstring or Achilles tendon, a knee, you know, there's a treatment plan you go through. You go through treatment and you go to rehab, and they fix you, right?
Mhm.
Anytime you have a brain injury, that's the only injury they don't do anything. At least they didn't when I was competing. they would tell us to go back to the hotel and just rest. Or sometime I crashed and I was right back in a bobsled within an hour going again. So I have a concussion and I'm going right back down there uh, and I'm doing it again. And it's the worst thing you can probably do for the brain because
Mhm.
you're already concussed. Like, what are you doing back out there? But there was no one around to ever tell us like you should go or you shouldn't go or no one qualified.
Oh wow, I'm surprised
Yeah.
like no one brought up like the safety concerns. Can you maybe describe like what happens in the brain when someone has like a CTE?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody's symptoms are a little bit different. For example, um, my symptoms were it's cloudy, it's confused. I was I get lost. I was getting lost in my own neighborhood for a while. And at
Mhm.
one point, when my teammate called me for help, well, called me to talk, and I had to help him. Like the truth is, like I didn't know how bad off I was. At that point, I had taken the mattress off of my bed in my bedroom, and I put it in the floor in my living room. And on some days, I was literally crawling to the kitchen, crawling to the bathroom, and things like that because I just couldn't get up. And so, but it affects people in different ways. But most of the biggest thing is it makes you extremely depressed. You
Mhm.
know, yeah, I was so depressed and I didn't know it. Like I was, everything was just dark. I couldn't see the beauty in anything. And like my biggest thing was like I would pray every night, just asking God, just please come get me. It's probably my time. Like I don't, please don't make me have another day like like I've been having. Like I don't want any more of those days. Like and so you in that mode where you're just ready to give up. And so that's why I believe you see so many athletes who either they're committing suicide or they're hurting somebody else, committing murders and things like that. Because once you give up and you don't care about yourself, more likely you don't care about anybody. Because once you give up on yourself, that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so could you maybe talk about like the transition from being like a Team USA athlete to suffering from CTE like symptoms? Like what are you going through? Like how are you dealing with this transition?
I'm doing better now. In the beginning, I was suffering. I had no idea what I was doing. And like I said, I was at that point where I was praying for death because the the symptoms are just awful. They're just awful. And the thing is, you can make the people around you, your friends, your family, miserable as well because you're just in that dark spot. You're not being productive with your own life. You just kind of laying there waiting to die. That's kind of what it really is. But I'm sorry, I missed part of your question there. No, I didn't answer that. What was your question again?
So I basically just asked about the transition from being like a Team USA bobsledder to suffering from CTE like symptoms.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the best way to answer that, like, just see, the problem is, like, I now know, like, I had red flags showing up before I left the sport. Like, they were there. I didn't know what they were, but they were there. So when I left the sport and they all kicked in, like, you go from you feel like you're on top of the world. Like, before that, every 7 days, I'm in a new country. I'm meeting a lot of new people. I'm shaking hands. I'm traveling with some very interesting people. Like, do you know Prince Albert of Monaco? You ever heard
No.
of him?
No.
He's the Prince of Monaco. Yeah, like we
Okay.
travel with that guy. He's a funny guy. We see him on.
Oh
I
wow.
still see him on TV all the time. We had just a lot of interesting characters. So we meet a lot of good and funny people. But once you leave that sport and them symptoms kicked in, it's like the best way to explain it, like you're just miserable. Like you just don't get to see the beauty in anything. Um, and I like there's probably a couple of years worth of time. Like I can't remember what I did all day. Like I will be in my apartment, TV's not on, the music is not on. I don't know what I did all day. It's just
Yeah.
that time is just it's gone. Like I don't. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's definitely like a very hard time. So, kind of like transitioning from that, can you maybe explain what hyperbaric oxygen therapy is and your experience with it?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a gentleman. You guys pretty young, so you might not know him. His name is Joe Namath. He was a football player. Uh,
Mhm.
I think he was playing like back in the '60s, before I was even born. And he had some videos out. He said he used hyperbaric oxygen to reverse his CTE symptoms. So there was nothing left for me to try. I tried everything that I could find on the internet and anything the doctor said. But so I tried it, and the truth is, I was in that chamber for 1 hour. And when I came out, my life changed. Like,
Oh,
yeah, as soon as I came out of that chamber, I could see colors again. Everything was bright. It's kind of like I was walking around in 3D. That's what it felt like. And over the next couple of days, all of my cloudiness went away, and I felt normal again. And I was just like, my God, like where have I been?
hmm.
Um, so I had 6 days of feeling really good, and I went back at the end of the next week. They let me do it again, and this time I was clear for 9 days. And once again, man, I'm just like, oh God, like thank you. Like, this is. And then at that point, I started just trying to tell everybody, hey guys, find hyperbaric oxygen, give it a shot. Check with your doctors, make sure you're safe for it, safe for you. And it just really changed my life. Like no doctor can tell me or can't tell me that I wasn't in dementia. I know I was in dementia. Like I
Hmm.
was struggling with reading, writing, math, like finding my way home. Like I was. So if it helped me, I feel like it's gonna help a lot of people.
Yeah, that's amazing. Can you maybe explain like what exactly it is?
Yeah, the crazy part is that thing looks just like the bobsled. It almost looks like the thing
Uh,
that got me in trouble. So
oh,
the first time I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to get in there. I don't know. I was afraid. Like I was like, no. But it saved my life. I got in that thing. It's just like when you get on an airplane for the first couple of minutes, you got to clear your ears a couple of times, yawn the top of
yeah.
your ears. You have to do that. And so once you're in there for about for me, about 5, 6 minutes, the is it pressurizes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it makes your body believe that it's like 9 feet underwater. So your blood is more like a gas, how it was explained to me. So when your blood's like a gas, it can get through all the blockages. It can get to the brain area. It can get wherever it needs to get to. So like when I'm in there for that hour, I usually do 90 minutes, but the first couple of times I did just 1 hour, and it was just a life changer, life changer. Like some people get this, it'll like they say they get permanent relief, like they don't get cloudy anymore. They don't need it anymore. But for me, it took me 20 years to find this thing. And so if I go about a month without it, I get cloudy again. So
Mm,
I'm not one of the blessed ones who gets that permanent relief. So I have to really conscious and be careful. Yeah.
mhm.
As soon as I start feeling a little bit weird, I'm right back in that machine so fast. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think I've been in 530 hours so far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely more athletes should know about like this type of therapy.
Yeah. So, wait, we're gonna say something?
Yeah. There's a scary movie that just came out called Him with Marlon Wayans. He's playing a football player who has
Mhm.
concussion issues and head injuries. And actually, in that movie, they actually had a hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
really
and they were talking about like how it helps with the brain power, like to read. I forgot what they called it, but the world is catching on. The world is catching on. So that's the good thing.
hmm.
Yeah, that's great. It's
Yeah.
amazing news. Yeah. So, could you maybe talk about your journey from, struggling with CTE like symptoms to dedicating your life to helping others with similar symptoms?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. Like I try to be as honest as I can. Like I still have symptoms. Like this thing, it hasn't like cured me. So a lot of people they get the permanent relief. I don't. Like I said, if I go 30 days without it, I'll be right back in the dark place again. Um, but I it's one of those things. If you stay, uh, it's kind of like doing. It's like having a chore, you know. And so when you have that chore, you got to make sure you do it every day, or it's gonna, you're gonna have problems. And that's the way I kind of look at it now. So I kind of missed your question a little bit. I know I didn't answer your question, and I know it. Let me tell you how I know it. Like that's part of my condition. Like I'll be talking, and then like it's like it's like some glitches in the matrix. Like all of a sudden I'll have this little, and I'll be like, okay, well, what was I talking about? Like that's part of one of my things that I can't get rid of so far. Some
Oh,
days it's more than others. And I was one time I was being interviewed by Chapman Downs for HBO Real Sports. It's a show on HBO, and he asked me some few questions, and we were talking just about bobsleds or something. Then I saw myself talking about butterflies and squirrels, and my mind started to go over here.
mhm.
And I'm watching myself on the camera do it in real time, and I just lost it. I just had a meltdown, and I just told him to call me back in 30 minutes, and we'll finish up. But the truth is, sometimes like when it kicks in, I used to be so embarrassed. That's why I stayed away from the media until now. Like I was so embarrassed of what I've become. Like I didn't want anyone to see me like that or see me like this. And but it allowed people to, without me continue to speak up, it allowed people to still keep suffering because I'm quiet. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'll show the world I still deal with those things. I'm just gonna just have they're just gonna have to see it. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna I used to hide it, but I no more.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
admire that mindset and like the bravery.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just, it's just really about saving lives because 2 years ago, I could barely talk. We would never have had this conversation.
mhm. And
And
we
now
think your
the,
responses are wonderful too. So,
yeah, man, it's such a blessing. Matter of fact, I've been finding other people who benefit from the treatment, like people who have strokes.
uh-huh.
If you have a stroke, if you're rich, they're going to put you in a hyperbaric chamber. If you're not rich, you probably won't ever find out about it because they don't tell you.
Mm.
So yeah, because insurance, I think the insurance will only pay for 14 conditions that the hyperbaric oxygen chamber is allowed to treat,
Oh,
and they have not added the brain into that one yet.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and so that's what makes it so much harder. That's why I'm really doing what I'm doing now. I'm going to open up a center. I'm gonna have chambers there, so people would just come get free treatment. And my goal is to do it for free, so that nobody falls into the same trap that I fell into. Because once I knew this thing worked, now I had to find $25,000 to buy this machine that I couldn't afford. And instead of me just trying to raise the money, I laid back down and I was preparing just to fade away. But it was my dad who refused to let that happen, and he wound up just buying the chamber for me because he didn't want me to wait, and he saw me going fading away again. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
really
but
inspirational.
yeah, you helped save my life, man. I'm so happy to be here and stuff. So it's just how do you get that message to the people so that they can get help as well? Yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you here. So, could you maybe like expand more on like your nonprofit, like what your
Yeah.
vision is for it and how people can maybe help to contribute to your mission?
Yeah, you know what? I posted a video before my last court hearing, and in that video, I was telling people, like, I said, guys, we're seeing, like, that video's on my TikTok. Like, I don't think I'm wearing this shirt. Matter of fact, I was just doing a video because there was a guy who went to New York and he shot up an office up there. He wanted to kill some of the NFL people, and he left a note. He said he pretty sure he had CTE, and so I made a video about it. But I warned people. I said, guys, I know we're really focused on the athletes who are doing these damages now. But I said, like, there's another population I'm more concerned about who has the same condition. There's our veterans. They're coming back from the war with CTE and those same kind of injuries. But the thing is, they're natural trained killers. So if you have athletes who are killing people and they don't even know how to kill, now you got these military people coming back and they know how to kill because we trained them to do that.
Hmm.
Those are the ones I worry about. So
Yeah.
right after I put that video out, the next week, a military guy went to a bar in Montana and he shot up the bar. And he ran off. He's hiding. I think he still might be hiding in the woods right now. I'm not sure if they found him. And then the week after that, another military guy, he went and shot up his commanders in the military. So like everything that I've told people is coming. It's coming. It's not something we can really get away from.
Oh.
You know, think about it. It's the only we live in the only country. Are you guys in America right now?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of the only countries you can go to church and get shot, go to the movies and get shot, go to a concert and get shot. It's so scary here.
Hmm.
And if you look at the statistics, tell us that 60% of the people who are in prison had head injuries that was not treated. You know, and because in America, until recently, they didn't treat head injuries. They just tell us to sit down and don't go to sleep. No,
Yeah.
nothing else. Yeah,
There's definitely like a lot of shootings in America, especially with like recent events with like the shooting of, yeah.
yeah. It's only gonna get worse.
Hmm. Okay, so could you maybe expand on like what challenges you faced when you're advocating for this cause?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I faced, and I have to be careful how I say this. Um, there are some really big people who wanted to do like a documentary about this journey that I'm on. And eventually they warned me. They said there's some really big people out here who don't want this information to come out. And then they also told me that it's not safe material. So for me to be careful, you know. And the truth is, like, when you're a whistleblower in America, especially get something big like the Olympics, insurance companies, and things like that, because that's exactly what this is. Like, you sometimes you get a target on your back where your life is, and then they'll just kill you so you don't get your message out there. And so I did get some of the threats, and all I can do is like they couldn't make me shut up because I was doing so bad that I was like, if they kill me, they'll be doing me a favor. So bring it on. That's what I told them. And I never stopped talking. They wanted me to stop talking. I haven't stopped and I won't stop. And
Hmm.
so the hardest part of this case has been that just knowing that I put my life in kind of in jeopardy uh, to try to help other people. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's kind of the place that we live in here in America. So, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think we and a lot of people appreciate you speaking up on this. So, is there anything that you maybe feel the public misunderstands about brain injuries and CTE, and what do you think that they should know about these brain injuries?
My personal opinion is this: if you ever fell down and hit your head and got a concussion, whether it was from sports or somebody hit you, if you didn't get that brain treated, it's a good chance you're gonna. I think CTE shows up once you go so long without treating the injury. That's what I think it is. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%, but I just think if you don't treat the injury, CTE is coming. And I just think it's just the end phase. It's like you get a concussion, you got the injuries. If you don't treat them, they'll still be there waiting. You just don't know when they're going to kick in and side effects kick in. For me, I saw the red flags right after the concussions, but I left the sport in 2007. And around 2012, things got bad. And, and definitely by 2017, that's when it was just 2000, 2018, I believe. Like at that point, I was just like, my brain was like bubble gum. You like I said, lost in my own community.
Hmm.
Didn't want to leave the house, things like that. So
Oh,
you get about 7 years, and I think that's about when they start to kick in. So if you had any kind of injury, brain injury, you need to get some kind of treatment, or as we get older, them you're going to get everything that we're all getting. And you hear it all the time. People, first things you get is you start losing words, then you get memory loss, and then like sometimes I still do this, and it's so embarrassing. I'll catch myself just staring off into space, just like just looking off. No reason. I'm just looking up there. I don't know what I'm looking at. And then I'll snap out of it like, okay, what the hell was I just doing? And everybody I know who had those brain injuries, it's the same thing. I can see it in people's eyes now. I know what I'm looking at now.
hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
there definitely needs to be more awareness around it. So, like looking back, how has this journey shaped your outlook and your attitude on life?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. Because like I said, for a long time I gave up. Uh, I did
Hmm.
everything that I could possibly do. And when I found no, oh, sorry, when I didn't find anything, it was like, I don't know, man. You're hopeless. It's like, and you just don't want to wake up the next day. You don't even want to be here for the rest of this day. You just want it over with, done, and maybe get a chance to start this life over somewhere else. Like that's the only thing that's on your brain. But for me, like I was a counselor before I was an athlete, and
Hmm.
it was something I used to tell all my clients, and it's probably what helped save me. Is I always told them if suicide is a good idea today, then it'll be a good idea tomorrow. And then so when tomorrow comes and you're not feeling well, I'll say it again. Well, today's a good day for suicide, but today's a good day. Tomorrow will be a better day. So like it was never an option for me to commit suicide because I always put it kind of because I always said those things to myself. And so for me, I was kind of in cruise control because where most people I think would have been at the point where they end their life, all my things that I taught people was in the back of my mind, just talking me through it and keeping me calm. Like, don't give up. This is. And then once I filed the lawsuit to help other people, um, I assumed I would die before the case was over, and I just didn't. I didn't think I could make it. I didn't really want to make it. I My only goal was just not to end it myself. That's my only goal. Was just don't do no suicide. But if you go in your sleep, it's okay, you know. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of going on, but yeah, it's a dark. You get to a dark place. It's really really dark, and it's hard to come back from
Hmm.
that. Yeah.
But I think like we've definitely like seen your growth, especially as you're like advocating for this cause. So like kind of transitioning, how can listeners or just like the community help support your cause?
Well, for me, like I said, it's very simple. I spent an hour in that chamber, and it changed my life. And I just want to help people get the same treatment that I received.
Hmm.
Um, and what I need to do is we're trying to raise funds for. We got a GoFundMe out there right now. I have a lake house that I'm going to donate. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's quiet, pretty, and pristine. And people can go there get treatment. And like I said, I don't want to charge anybody anything. I want to make sure they come get the treatment. Then I have a second location that I want to open because at the lake house I have 3 bedroom, 2 bath. I can accommodate 2 people. If
Hmm.
I open up at the other place I have, it's like 3 buildings. It's like I can accommodate 15 to 20 people per day. So
Oh,
that's what my real goal is to do that one.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really nice.
yeah. So if I could do even 5 people a day and open 300 days a year, I mean that's 1,500 people that
Hmm.
hopefully lives that we've saved. And it's so simple. It's really, I promise you, it's only oxygen. It's like, I have no idea. And I know what the science says, but it doesn't make sense of how I can go from feeling that bad, not being able to talk to, you know, here I am. Like my last 2 court hearings, I represented the whole class to the judge. Like, and I'm fighting against my lawyers and the other lawyers. So, like, I woke up, man. It woke me up. When we started this case, I didn't have the chamber. I found it about 2 years in. And like it's woken me up enough for me to be strong enough to advocate for everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your courage is
Sounds,
definitely
yeah.
admirable. Okay. So that was like our last question for today. And again, like thank you so much for being on our podcast. And we really enjoyed talking to you. It was definitely like really interesting to learn about this, especially because like I've never heard about it before. So yeah, this is definitely a great gateway.
yeah. I have a my TikTok channel. You should check it out. It's One Man with a Chamber, and
Okay.
like all I do is help people with CTE symptoms. And my goal is to teach you how to live with it. Because there's
Hmm.
things you can do that'll help you. But if you don't do anything, you're gonna wither because it's gonna catch up with you. But there's
Um,
simple things, very simple things you can do. Like for example, making sure you keep your keys in the same place, keep your wallet in the same place every day. Just normalizing things. And if you do the same thing every day, you'll have patterns that like that's what I did. I kept doing the same thing every day, same time. And next thing you know, I was in cruise control and I was starting to beat this thing. But I really couldn't have done it before the without the hyperbaric. That was the kicker. And then once that brain opens up, now you can do whatever you need to do for yourself. But it's really about your loved ones. Your loved ones are the ones who are going to help you.
yeah, that's really
Yeah,
important.
yeah. If you look at the last like few suicides, the person who committed suicide was not living with their wife anymore or their partners. Yeah.
Hmm.
So one thing is you alienate yourself, and if you're self medicating with like alcohol and hard drugs, that's what's been killing most of the athletes. Yeah, so you just got to be careful with certain things. So find my TikTok, I'll help you guys through it, or anybody who needs it. It's just community. You can come talk and be free and get all the advice you need.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing your story and helping other people.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're very welcome. Thanks for having me. I really, you guys are so important on this journey. It's just, I don't think you understand.
Okay,
But
thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
you're very welcome.